IdealMRI.com. Ideal MRI is a small family business right here in Central Texas. We're open to support our community through this crisis. When you need an MRI, ask your doctor for an Ideal MRI. Visit us at IdealMRI.com or call us at 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Ready to get outside? Go where you want to go in a new Jeep from Allen Sam. Pricing plus for all on new 2020 Gladiators and Wranglers. Yourself in a new 2020 Grand Cherokee, Compass, Cherokee, or Renegade with 0% for 72 and no payments for up to 120 days. Let's go. Samuels is ready to do business in person or online. Drive forward in a Jeep from Allen Samuels.
All offers with approved credit.
Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream or selling your current one, commercial, farm and ranch, or residential. Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction with a team of 24 experienced agents who are excited about serving you. Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm, welcome home.
I hate my job, but I don't mind getting up in the morning. I dread each day, but I can't wait to get out of bed. You ask me why, and what I'll say to you is true. Well, you can get breakfast tacos at Rudy's Barbecue. Scrambled eggs and brisket, they ain't fooling around. Salsa drap, son, they're in town. Barbecue for breakfast, it's true. Put a smile on your morning at Rudy's Barbecue. Next in line.
This is SicEm365 Radio. The SicEm365 Radio Live Guest VIP Hotline is sponsored by Stonewood Dental. We are all in this together.
Well, here we are, SicEm365 Radio. This is week 7. We're 4 days into week 7, and sometimes days are meant to be like this. They test you, they test us, and we appreciate your patience. We had to wrap up the interview with Mickey pretty early. Just some things that happen. We will be fine, and we appreciate those of you listening to SicEm365 Radio. I just spoke with West Virginia President, and he will be with us at the 5 o'clock hour. But I think we have to at least explain what's been going on. We've had just a couple of little gremlins that get in the season, and so we've had some sporadic issues throughout the show today. Luckily, very little of that from the beginning when we started on Monday, April the 6th. So we will diligently figure it out, and we do appreciate, again, you sticking with us on SicEm365 Radio. He said really nothing new, right? There was just the standard questions, and Craig probably, in fact, I'd like to know, 254-339-1122 on the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line. Are you worn out with Dak news, or can you not get enough? Give us, again, fired up on the text line, 254-339-1122, or on the Willis Law Firm chat room on SicEm365.com in the premium section. I'm done with it, but I also understand that because there's not much else going on, even if they're baseball games in the playoffs or whatever was going on at this particular time, I think I would still be numb to it.
It would still be out there. People would still be talking about it. It would still be probably story number 1 in Dallas right now. You know, I don't know if the Mavericks were playing and they were heading towards the postseason like they should be right about the time period, then maybe those take some of the headlines. But the Cowboys always take the headlines, and in particular a quarterback, when he's got a contract coming up. You know, they've already milked like 2 years out of this story, and we've had the franchise tags and all of that, and here we are. We are reaching a bit of a breaking point where a long-term decision is going to have to be made. But again, I think what is typically just normal negotiations is what is going on. But because sports media does this, it's like, oh my gosh, they don't see eye to eye on the figure. Well, that's what negotiations are for. Well, they don't see eye to eye on the 5th year. Well, that's what negotiations are for. Nobody just lines up on opposite sides and says, hey, this is what I want. Okay, cool, great, see you later. It'd be nice if that's how things worked out, but Dak's in a position of power. He knows they need him. He knows they want him. And he also knows that, you know, he's got 1 for sure and maybe 2 massive contracts still coming his way. So he's trying to set himself up and his team to where he can get 2 massive contracts if this one has worked the right way. And maybe he does regardless, but there's just a sticking point over that 5th year, apparently, and that will get ironed out, just like any other little thing that's popped up has been ironed out. Yep. And I just think it's the media trying to make something out of nothing, honestly. I really do. I don't think there's any concern whatsoever that Dak Prescott won't have a star in his helmet, but sometimes when I'm reading these reports, like, it's one thing to be, I guess, cautious of a disagreement or, your player and your ownership not seeing eye to eye, but I don't think it's that they're not seeing eye to eye. They just have, different things that they want, and when all is said and done, he's going to be the Cowboys quarterback. But I read some of these pieces, and you've got, like, real media people acting as though, like, there's even the slightest chance he could play somewhere else, and that's ridiculous. We all know that's not going to happen. We know there's no chance of that, but yet we still, stoke the flames and act like, this could all go chaotically wrong. He's not going to. He's going to sign a contract, and it's going to be done with in about a month, and we'll go from there. Now, if that's not how it works out, and this is completely different from where everybody thinks it will, then, let's jump all over and talk all about that and how that happened. But until then, this is all just speculation. I feel like a lot of people try to make a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah, I just think people are thirsty for anything, and then, but again, even if it was full throttle, this would be going on.
Yeah, but it's like, to me, just me personally, so I know I don't have the same opinion as everybody else, but it's not that interesting to me even. Like, it's not even that interesting.
Here's why I think it is, if there is for anybody, and you guys can disagree with me here or tell me if you agree. Dak Prescott, as much as he's done, as many stats as he's posted, as wins as he's had, as many playoff appearances, there is this seemed like almost that nobody thinks he's valuable. Mm-hmm. Or there's not nobody. So many people think he's not very valuable. And I think he's a damn good player, and I do think he is their chance to do anything in the future, and they're lucky as hell to have.
Well, they're very lucky because the alternative, and will forever remember this name just because he was who the Cowboys would have picked, was Paxton Lynch, who's, I don't even think he's in the league right now.
They tried to trade up to get him.
Right, so they definitely sat accidentally on a horseshoe that day, basically, is what happened for the Cowboys. I do think there are detractors for Dak. I don't think it's the majority by any means. I think the majority of people think he's a good quarterback. I think you have, just like with anybody else, hell, Lamar Jackson's got detractors, if you think about it. There's a small group of really good people, but that will actually try to take away from the things that Lamar Jackson does. So, Dak, just like Romo before him and Aikman before him and everybody before them, you're under a different type of a microscope. But anybody saying he's not a good quarterback or that he can't take them to a certain point, that's just talk. There's nothing substantial to even back up, because all he's really done has been winning games, and it's not exactly all at his feet when they haven't won games. So, like I said, I think this is all going to get worked out. I understand the interest to an extent, but at the same time, I just think it's a lot of talk about absolutely nothing. Just my opinion.
Yep. All right, it's 4:58. When we come back, West Virginia president, he'll join us. This is SicEm365 Radio.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, French oak, rye, and brimstone. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, or hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Trust the doctors that Baylor trusts. Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
Hi, this is Jeremy Mullins, head football coach at Toller High School, and you're listening to SicEm365 Radio with David Smoke, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoke.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion. And I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Low T. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like these, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illness and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI. And please, remember to follow CDC guidelines and practice social distancing. Stay home, except for the essentials, and be safe. Together, we'll get through this.
The biggest, toughest, hardest working heavy duty trucks are on sale at Allen Samuels. Now, get employee pricing for all on new Ram heavy duties and no payments for 90 days. These unprecedented incentives won't last long. HDs for farm and ranch, for business and all commercial operations. Ram heavy duties, the motor trend of the year. Drive forward with Ram. From your friend in the car business, Allen Samuels. Ask for details. All offers with approved credit.
This is SicEm365 Radio. The 5 o'clock hour is sponsored by Edward Jones Investments with financial advisor Ben Erlinson, who'll navigate you through today's financial credit. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Here's David Smoke, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoke.
All right. Gee, the president of West Virginia, will join us momentarily. SicEm365 Radio will take you through this 5 o'clock hour. Also, one note, the great Lily is going to join us on Monday, the Hall of Famer. The Sports Hall of Fame has that huge golf tournament middle of the month that is on. Cooper Jones was on with us last week, the CEO of the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, and Bob Lilly will join us on Monday about the tournament and about just the Cowboys and his career and also much, much more. Waiting to get attached to E. Gordon Key, who will join us in a moment. Paul, he's no longer the lead president of 12, the TCU president now in charge, but he's always been very much a supporter of Baylor, even during their darkest times.
Yeah, he was one of the first to go on record and show some semblance of support when nobody really wanted to do that. No one to do that. In fact, they sought to do quite the opposite. So that was a major thing for Baylor when that occurred, and some support was shown for sure.
We're now joined by West Virginia President E. Gordon Gee. He's been with us before, back in the days when Baylor was going through the turmoil, and was the first one ever to publicly come out and say, listen, I believe in Baylor. They're going to be okay. Mack Rhodes, Dr. Livingstone, and so much more that's happened since that time. But today, President Gee, first of all, thanks for your time. How you been during all this? Well, how have you handled this so-called, not so much downtime, but this unique time in America?
Well, I live in the center of a university campus, and students, they've got me locked down. They have guard dogs and armed guards, and they have me in an orange suit with drones overhead. They're not letting me out. I'm in that vulnerable age, so it's been an interesting experience. The truth of the matter is, David, is the fact that I think that I'm working harder and than I've ever done, because the fact they don't give me any time to have fun. So it's a daunting task, and of course, getting prepared for the fall is not easy. It's like planning the Normandy invasion, as you know. So
yeah, and so much is still uncertain, and we've seen change in so many things that are going on. In your opinion, and so many people have had some, do you think we will have college football in the fall? Do you feel like we'll have it when it's supposed to start, and also will there be people in the stand?
Well, first of all, I do believe that we'll have college football. As I infamously said a while ago, even if I have to suit up, which would be horrible. Yes, I think for one we will. Secondly of all, I think that we will start on time. And third, I think that we'll have a limited number of fans in the stands. I think that it's all going to be sort of the kind of protocols that institutions develop. As, with our which is about the size which is about the same size, maybe larger than Baylor's. But my intent is to get out in front with masks and check everyone's temperature and make sure that we get some fans in the stands. I think that that's important for us to be able to create opportunities for people to get back into some sense of the wheel for our health, if nothing else.
How do you think that we'll have fans at the first part of this season, or maybe have to wait and see later?
To court FDR fear is our biggest issue. The way that I view it, Dave, is that I view it as a hammer and a dance. The hammer we have really put into place. That is that we just locked our nation down and with tremendous impact, but we've also flattened the curve. We've also learned a lot about the disease. But when you think about it, the disease is going to be with us forever. Take flu shots, and 88,000 people died of the flu this year. All of us have a driver's license. 50,000 died in car wrecks. So we'll never move to zero risk, but we will. So therefore, have to think about this as a dance. Even when we get a vaccine, it's a dance. We dance with the disease. We not let it control us. We control it, and that's one of the things we have to learn about in terms of college football and everything else. It's going to be a different normal. We're going to have to do some things differently, but in the end, I think we will be able to move forward.
I don't know how much of an opportunity you've had to talk to Neil Brown or the rest of your head coaches, but I was just curious if you have had those opportunities, just the sense you get from them on navigating through this time period, because it's awfully strange for coaches right now, as it is for everyone, of course, but just how do you feel like the West Virginia coaches have been handling this?
Well, I think they've done a beautiful job. I think all of our head coaches have done really a terrific job. What we're trying to do, we have a very cohesive group. And I think that we're blessed to be in Morgantown, West Virginia. West Virginia, if you take a look at the crisis, all of the states around us are red as can be, and then here's West Virginia in the middle of a very light pink. We have flattened the curve and done almost better than any state in the country. And so, from that point of view, they're enticing place in the sense of what we can do at the university, what we can do athletically, what we can learn from all the things we have been doing.
We know that the NCAA men's tournament was canceled. We know how much money is attached to that and how much money is distributed to programs around the country, conferences and programs. Is it Armageddon if football's not played this fall?
Well, that's an interesting word. Football is the cash cow, as we all know. I mean, our men's basketball program does make some money, and men's basketball program. But when you think of the Olympic sports, as I call them, the non-revenue sports, really are supported by football. And so, when we do not play football, we put our athletic programs in serious danger, unless, of course, you're willing to do, like as we did in the Ivy League, President Brown, where they just use university general resources. But most institutions, and particularly large public universities, their athletic programs are self-supporting. That means they don't get any tuition dollars, they don't get any state dollars, they don't get any general university resources. And so when this happens, it does put an immense financial strain on the athletic programs.
Is there a discretionary fund or anything you guys have to fall back on? And how long does something like that last?
Well, we all live cheek to jowl, if you know what I mean. We don't have a lot of cash floating around for anything, and of course, any cash we have is going to go into the academic programs of the institution. And the athletic program does have a small amount of dollars, but they are very small, and they would not sustain sustain a significant $100 million athletic program for very long.
What do you think about the way the Big 12 ADs, the presidents, have all been working together throughout this time? We have Mac Rhodes on every week, and he talks about, you guys, there's at least 1 to 2 meetings every single week. I know the football coaches have been involved here recently as well, but just how do you think the conference as a whole has worked together to answer some of the questions you got?
Well, we like each other except for 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
We really like each other. We work well. We have wonderful presidents and chancellors, ADs, and right before this thing happened, we actually had a meeting with all of us together, and it's really quite remarkable, the cohesiveness of our conference. I think that having 10 has proven to be a real plus for us right now, because we don't have a lot of disagreement. We can move very quickly and very agilely and very competitively. So I think that we have come to agree. And of course, we're blessed to have Bob Bowlesby. Bob is the dean of commissioners, and his voice booms very loudly in any of these kinds of decisions. And our own athletic director, Shane Lyons, is the head of the Division I college football program. So that means that we do have an opportunity to have real influence in the larger arena of college athletics.
How have the colleges themselves, university campuses, from presidents all the way through the administration, you once said that the colleges must lead and not follow through the coronavirus. Do you feel like in the end that's what's been done?
Well, I think our universities in general have handled this really quite well. We're flying an airplane while we're trying to bolt the wings on. It's a experience. I have been a university president for 40 years, and I feel like a freshman. I feel like a freshman walking a picket fence. I'm thrilled but in danger of being impaled because I've never experienced this before. So you can make mistakes, but I think that everyone with goodwill and good intentions is really trying to do a couple of things. One, we're trying to make sure that our institutions are moving forward. Number two is we're trying to make sure that our faculty, staff, our students are safe. We want to try to make certain that parents understand that we have the best interest of their students, and also we're trying to create and reinvent a university system, because in the end, the world will not be the same. In my view, we will not go back to normal. Number one. Number two, we'll not go to a new normal. We'll have to create a new world, because this is a once in a lifetime, a once in 100-year effort, and that is going to cause a lot of disruption, therefore a lot of change.
You all also are quoted as saying, among the Big 12, we have near consensus among the athletic directors and presidents about starting the football season, returning to play college athletics. When you near consensus, does that mean not unanimous?
No, I think there's unanimous. I think that the issues would be at the edges. Do we let our athletes back on June 1st, June 15th, or July? Those are the kinds of things. I think on the broad-based fundamental issues, we are in absolute lockstep.
Do you feel like that you can football come back at the college level if students are not on campus?
Well, I don't see how that can really happen. I think that there can be variations on that. Maybe part of the students are there and are bright of other things. But, in the end, I remind myself and everyone else, and that is that athletes are first student athletes. And so if we can't have students on campus, those include athletes. So but I think most of our institutions and most of the Power 5 institutions are really devoted to having some form of academic programs on campus in their classrooms.
When you mentioned earlier that everything's changed now forever. I mean, there's going to be different ways that, campus even exists with, I'm sure 2 years from now, half the people will still be maybe going to class remotely just because their life has changed so much and it might work out for them. But what do you see as far as like game day practice change forever?
Well, I don't know. I think that one of the great things about college football are all the traditions around it, the bands, the cheerleaders, the tailgating, all the things that bring the spirit and enthusiasm to the university. And that's one of the reasons that we, of course, play the game. So I think that there will initially be some changes. I think there will be some changes because of fear. I think that the university will impose some changes. We're going to have to some of the distancing issues, some of the masking issues, all of those other kinds of things. So I guess the way that I think about it, the rolling process will creep into this to make certain we don't start the year again, but at the same time, we're going to move forward and try to isolate the problems rather than let them drive us.
You were the first person of any kind of status, position, or whatever among the Big 12 and pretty much anywhere when Baylor was going through their scandal and the aftermath of Pepper Hamilton. We had you on the show, as you remember, a couple of different times. You said from the beginning that you understood what they had been through and you also wanted them to succeed. You were the first one to wish them luck. You were the first one to ever say anything positive about them in any way, shape, or form. I guess it might have been 3 years ago. You now see what Dr. Livingstone has done, what Mac Rhodes has done, what they've done across the board. Your thoughts about what you've now seen since then?
Well, I think I made a horrible mistake. I should have them on probation because they're so damn good now. I mean, it is irritating. I mean, you've got their football program, their basketball programs. You got Scott Drew, you got Kim Mulkey, you got a brand new football coach. I hope he's not very good, and then you got Mac Rhodes, who I think is one of the really great athletic directors, and of course Dr. Livingston has done a great job. So, other than the fact that a horrible error 3 years ago, I'm grateful for their research.
Oh my God, that's so honest. I love it. I love that. Hey, President Gee, we appreciate your time so much for jumping on. Stay safe.
Thank you. And everyone have a great day. And to my friends in Waco, I appreciate all of you. And, of course, I give a great shout-out to Ken and Alice Starr, who are great, great, great friends. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. We'll pass that along. That's E. Gordon Gee. I love the just pure
a great
brutal
sense of humor.
I regret it.
Hey, I've got news. The app is back up. We are back up online.
Do you know I don't drink during the week?
I know you don't. Tonight might be one of those nights.
I got a long run tomorrow, so I'm not going to do that. But this has been the most stressful of the days.
This has been definitely the most stressful.
And it's not because of what we are dealing with. It's because I feel for the audience, because we have a hell of a lineup again. And we'll put the podcast, we've been recording everything.
Yes.
And we'll have that up. So if you missed something because of this and that. But for some reason, earlier today, there started to be some things that were weird. So that's nice.
It all kind of collided at once. And it's 2 hours and 18 minutes.
You should have saved that for 5:59 and announced that right as we were leaving the airways that the app is back up.
No, I wanted people to know, so but I mean, there's still a couple minor, but
okay. Well, you want to know another thing that happened today? The championship 7-on-7 tweet. This isn't the one that the UIL controls.
Okay,
so everybody assumes this is like state 7-on-7.
I saw Matt Stepp is the one, and I'll quote him because Matt was great. He was on this